Welcome, everyone. If you're new here, this is Lift the Veil, a space committed to breaking the silence around addiction, grief, and stigma. We believe in offering hope for families, help for communities, and healing for everyone impacted by addiction. Whether you're here as a parent, a professional, or someone who's walked this path yourself, you are welcome. My name is Chrissy Etheridge, founder of Lift the Veil. I've worked in healthcare for almost 2 decades, first as a registered nurse and now as a family nurse practitioner in multiple ERs. And I'm also a mom. My work has always been about showing up for people in their most vulnerable moments, but nothing prepared me for losing my own son. That's why this isn't just professional, it's personal. And I want to share a little bit about William's story with you. Most of you know my son William died from what was likely an accidental fentanyl overdose. He would have turned 32 this year. What haunts me the most is that I'm not sure he ever walked through an ER door before that night. Maybe he didn't think he could. And that's why I'm here. Because the stigma we're talking about, it isn't theoretical. It's the reason so many people never ask for help. So tonight I'm inviting all of us to consider what it would look like to see people, to really see them before it's too late. Tonight we're talking about something that quietly shapes so many lives: stigma. The judgment that keeps us silent. The fear that makes us hide. And the shame that convinces us we're alone. When we say stigma, what we really mean is a message. You're less than. You don't belong. Your pain is your fault. And for people struggling with addiction, stigma often does more harm than the substance itself. The word stigma actually comes from Latin and Greek. It means a burn, a tattoo, a mark of disgrace, something you could see on someone's skin to show they were less than. Today it shows up in language, labels, and attitudes that still mark people in invisible ways. Just take a second to think about this. When you hear the word stigma, what comes up for you? Is it a memory, a phrase, a feeling? Feel free to share in the chat, the comments, or just jot it down privately. I want to share 3 simple truths about stigma. 1, it thrives in silence. 2, it impacts families and entire communities. And 3, it loses power when we name it out loud. We see stigma everywhere. In healthcare, where people get labeled. In faith spaces, where judgment sometimes replaces compassion. In families, where silence becomes the norm, and in ourselves, when we internalize that shame. In the ER, I've heard the words like addict or frequent flyer. Those labels strip away dignity. They turn a person with a story into a stereotype. I'm curious, what words have you heard that made you feel judged or dismissed? Please feel free to share in the comments or in the chat, but also just simply write it down. I want to ask you, has stigma ever kept you from asking for help, from being honest, from feeling worthy of support? You're not alone in that. Your story matters. So how do we respond to stigma? First, respond without shame. Second, set healthy boundaries with people who can't see your humanity. And third, share your story safely when you are ready. Every time we do this, we chip away at the silence. I love this quote. Shame dies when stories are told in safe places. This space right here is one of those places. This week, I invite you to write a letter to stigma. What does it cost you? What will you no longer allow it to steal? You can share it in our community or keep it private, but I hope you'll write it. If you'd like to learn more, our course, Why Can't They Just Stop, has an entire module called Shifting the Narrative that goes deeper into how stigma works and how to dismantle it. You can access it anytime in our learning library within our Mighty Networks community. So here's the module itself, how to find it, why can't they just stop? And then as you click into that, you can do module 1, shifting the narrative, and go through each one of the very simple and self-guided tools. Before we wrap up tonight, I want to bring this back to why we're here. William isn't here anymore, and I don't get another chance to sit with him, to ask better questions, and to help him feel seen. But we do have this moment right now with each other. Maybe someone else's William is still out there, still wondering if they're worth saving, still thinking no one will care if they try again. We don't have to fix everything in one conversation, but we can be the people who choose curiosity over judgment, connection over shame, and compassion over avoidance. That's what lifting the veil really means. Refusing to let stigma have the last word. Thank you for being here and caring enough to learn. You are part of a changing story for families, for communities, and maybe for someone who hasn't found their way to this conversation yet. I want to share this in case you're looking for more support, resources, or just a place not to feel alone in this. We have a free online community called Lift the Veil Community, hosted on Mighty Networks. Inside, you'll find educational courses like Why Can't They Just Stop?, our advocate program if you want to learn how to help others, a prayer and memorial board to honor loved ones, and weekly discussions and live events like this one. It's a space where you can ask questions, share stories, or just listen without judgment. If you're ready to keep exploring this work, you'll always be welcome there. I'll put the link in the chat and down in the comments for this video so you can join when you're ready. Finally, if you'd like to wear a reminder that healing and connection are possible, our Red Bracelet campaign is live. Every bracelet honors someone impacted by addiction and helps fund this work. You can learn more at ltvproject.org. Before we wrap, I want to say this. You showing up here tonight matters. You're part of lifting the veil, not just on stigma, but on the walls we build to protect ourselves. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. Thank you for choosing compassion. Our mission: change the message and stop stigma, because every bracelet, every story, every conversation is one step towards ending the silence around addiction.